This message didn't appear in front of you by chance. It isn't an accident, a coincidence, or some random video playing on your feed. The truth is much deeper. You found this transmission because your awareness has ripened to the exact frequency that allows you to hear it. And let's be clear from the very beginning. Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you're seeing this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. This is more than a title, it's a recognition. The very fact that you're listening right now is evidence that something within you has already crossed a threshold that most of humanity never reaches in a lifetime. You didn't study for this, you didn't apply for it. You didn't even know you were being tested. Yet every challenge you've walked through, every moment you've endured when comfort called but you still chose growth, every season of doubt that you survived and transformed into wisdom, these were the silent examinations of consciousness. And here you are, proof that you've passed every single one. You have been brought to this exact moment, not randomly, but by the orchestration of something far larger than your personal will. Think about what's been happening around you lately. Time doesn't feel the same, does it? Sometimes it races forward as though days collapse into minutes, and other times it stretches so wide that even a moment feels infinite. People look at you differently. Some are drawn to you without knowing why, while others grow uneasy in your presence. Synchronicities have been cascading around you, little alignments, impossible timings, meaningful coincidences stacking one after another until they no longer feel like coincidences at all. These are not accidents. These are confirmation signals that you've moved into a new frequency of operation. Your perception of reality has been expanding. You've outgrown surface-level manifestation tricks. You've moved beyond the beginner meditations that once seemed profound but now feel like kindergarten. Your soul demands more. Access to what I'll call the advanced protocols of consciousness. These are not techniques you can memorize or methods you can fake. They activate only when you are ready. And the truth is, you are ready now. This isn't intellectual. It isn't something you grasp with the mind alone. This is a cellular acknowledgement. Your DNA is literally responding as you hear these words. Your nervous system, your subtle body, your inner awareness, they know exactly what's happening here. This is not new knowledge being poured into you. This is ancient recognition surfacing from within you. And I'll repeat it again because it must be anchored deeply into your field. Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you're seeing so, this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. Once you cross this line, there's no going back. You can't return to unconscious living. You can't unknow what you're about to know. You can't squeeze yourself back into the small boxes that once felt safe. That world is gone for you. Every incarnation you've ever lived has been building toward this recognition. Lifetime after lifetime, lesson after lesson, you've gathered the threads. In this incarnation, during this collective awakening, you finally weave them together. That is why you've always carried the quiet sense that you were meant for something more, that there was something extraordinary waiting beneath the surface of ordinary life. You weren't imagining it. You were remembering it. The dreams have been showing you. Haven't you noticed how vivid they've become? Sometimes you wake with the memory of being taught in luminous classrooms. Sometimes you find yourself wandering crystalline cities that dissolve the moment you wake, leaving only a trace of wisdom in your chest. Those weren't symbolic dreams. They were literal journeys of your consciousness, traveling during sleep to higher dimensions where education is given to those who are prepared. And it hasn't only been in dreams. Technology itself has been responding to you. Phones ring the moment you think of someone. The right information pops onto your screen at the exact moment you need it. Lights flicker, devices misbehave or flow effortlessly, depending on the frequency of your own emotional state. That is because your consciousness has developed coherence strong enough to influence electromagnetic fields themselves. The physical world is bending to your awareness. You've also been noticing the distortions of time, hours collapsing into moments when you're in flow, minutes stretching into eternity when you're in deep presence. This is what mystics call stepping into the eternal now, the timeless dimension in which all possibilities exist simultaneously. You're not visiting it temporarily anymore. You're beginning to live from it. Your intuition has shifted from vague hunches to direct knowing. You sense truths before they're spoken. You anticipate outcomes before evidence appears. You feel the quality of decisions before logic lays out the pros and cons. This isn't fantasy. This is your consciousness learning to read quantum information directly from the field before it crystallizes into matter. And it's not just about you. Look around. People respond to you differently. Some can't explain why they feel safe opening their hearts to you. Others can't explain why they feel uncomfortable in your presence. Children light up when you enter the room. Animals relax. You've seen it. You've felt it. That's because your energy signature has shifted to a frequency that triggers recognition in others, whether they're ready for it or not. You've been glimpsing what we might call dimensional bleeds. Little moments when reality seems to overlap. When presences appear at the edge of your vision. When your awareness stretches beyond the physical plane. You used to question if you were imagining it. Now you know you weren't. These are signs that your perceptual capacity has expanded beyond what ordinary human consciousness normally allows. Your relationship with your own thoughts has transformed too. Instead of being lost inside them, you've begun to notice them as movements within your awareness. You've discovered the space from which they rise, and you know you are that space. This is metacognition at a level most people never touch. And it's only possible because your consciousness has reached the coherence required to sustain it. Here's the most profound thing. You're beginning to notice the dance between your inner states and outer reality. You've seen it, how your internal vibration shapes what manifests, how the world seems to respond intelligently to the quality of your awareness. This is not wishful thinking. This is the architecture of reality revealing itself to you. And every single stage of confusion you went through, the doubts, the barren spiritual seasons, the times when nothing seemed to work, those were not failures. They were essential training. You had to develop discernment. You had to strengthen your awareness so you could step into this expanded reality without losing balance. Even your skepticism was sacred. It trained you to separate fantasy from true expansion. That's why your path felt so long, so difficult, so unrelenting. Shortcuts weren't possible. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Because what you carry now isn't just for you. It's for the collective. Humanity is at a threshold. Old systems are collapsing. Old paradigms are cracking. The chaos you see on the world stage is the shedding of what no longer fits the frequency of this planet. And you are part of the first wave anchoring the new field. Your individual transformation isn't separate from the collective. It is the collective. The template you embody now becomes the doorway through which others will walk later. This is why your calling feels bigger than personal success. It's why your desires sometimes feel impossible to explain. You weren't meant to fit the old patterns. You were meant to establish the new ones. And let me say it once more, so that it settles into every layer of your being. Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you re-seeing this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. You are not becoming something new. You are remembering what you've always been. You are universal intelligence recognizing itself through the lens of your individuality. You may wonder why life has often felt heavier for you than for others. Why your road seemed filled with detours, obstacles, and strange seasons of silence. The truth is, none of it was random. Every difficulty was carefully placed to strengthen your field, to deepen your presence, to expand the vessel of your awareness until it could contain this new frequency without breaking. Those heartbreaks, those nights of doubt, those long stretches where nothing seemed to move forward, those were not punishment, they were preparation. Your nervous system was being rewired, your emotional body was being stretched, your mind was being sharpened so that when this activation arrived, you would not collapse beneath it. And now you can feel it, can't you? The shift is no longer subtle. You wake with thoughts that feel older than you, insights that seem to rise from a place beyond your personal memory. Conversations flow toward truth without you forcing them. People you barely know reveal their deepest secrets to you. Technology bends and aligns with your moods in ways you cannot logically explain. And inside yourself, the constant chatter that once carried you away now feels distant, less compelling. You are no longer trapped in the stream of thought. You are the one watching the stream. This is the sign of advanced consciousness, awareness becoming aware of itself. Do not underestimate how rare this is. Most humans spend lifetimes without ever glimpsing this space. But you are here not only glimpsing it, but living it more and more each day. That is why the title matters, why I speak it again, to remind both your mind and your energy field of what is unfolding. Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you're seeing this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. Feel how those words land, not in your ears, but in your entire being. This is not just a video you are watching. This is a mirror reflecting back what you have always been becoming. Everywhere you look, the signs confirm it. The world outside feels unstable, chaotic, even collapsing. But beneath the chaos, something deeper is emerging. Old systems are crumbling because they cannot hold the frequency that is now entering the planet. The illusions of separation, competition, and fear are being exposed. And though many resist, though many cling to the old ways, you are not here to cling. You are here to anchor. You are here to remember what humanity has forgotten. Your role is not to escape this world, but to embody a new way of being within it. That is why the tests were so relentless. They were never about perfection. They were about stability. Could you remain centered in love while surrounded by fear? Could you hold integrity in a culture of shortcuts? Could you trust the invisible when the visible offered no reassurance? Every time you answered yes, even in the smallest ways, your field grew stronger. Every time you said no to your own contraction, yes to your own expansion, the universe whispered, "This one is ready." You are ready because you are living proof that consciousness does not evolve through comfort, but through challenge. It does not awaken in the easy seasons, but in the storms. That is why you carry wisdom now that others cannot explain. It is not because you read more books or practiced more techniques. It is because life itself initiated you, again and again, until you became unshakable. And this is only the beginning. What you are stepping into now is a level of perception where life itself feels different. You will notice solutions appearing before problems fully form. You will sense which path leads to harmony, and which leads to confusion long before your rational mind begins to analyze. Creativity will flow through you, as though whispered by something beyond you. Health will align as you begin to listen to the intelligence of your body rather than trying to control it. Resources will appear through timing and synchronicity, not through endless struggle. Relationships will deepen because you will hear not just words, but the truth beneath them. These are not magical powers. They are your natural state when consciousness is unbound. You are not becoming supernatural. You are becoming fully human. What humanity was always meant to be before fear and limitation narrowed the spectrum of awareness. You are remembering your natural inheritance. But remember this: once this activation unfolds, you cannot return to who you were. The illusions that once satisfied you will now feel hollow. The distractions that once consumed you will no longer hold your attention. The comforts that once kept you asleep will no longer fit. This transition is permanent. And though it may feel overwhelming at times, know this: you were built for this. You were born for this. You are not here by accident. You can already feel the truth of this inside your body. It is not a thought. It is not an idea. It is a recognition that pulses in your cells, that hums in your bones, that vibrates in the silence of your heart. And if you doubt it, look again at your own life. The evidence is everywhere. The timing, the synchronicities, the impossible alignments, they are too precise to be chance. They are confirmations that you are walking in resonance with a field larger than your individual self. This is why you are here, not simply to awaken for your own sake, but to become an anchor for the collective. Humanity is on the edge of a great threshold, and you are part of the first wave crossing it. When you embody this new frequency, you create a morphic field that makes it easier for others to awaken. Every step you take into coherence becomes a path carved for those who follow. You are not just evolving, You are building a bridge between the world that is collapsing and the world that is emerging. And so I remind you once again, let it echo in your awareness. Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you're seeing this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. This is your recognition. This is your initiation. This is your responsibility. And now you begin to notice something even stranger. Time itself no longer behaves the way it once did. Hours can pass in what feels like minutes when you are in flow, and a few minutes can stretch endlessly when you drop into deep awareness. The clocks on the wall continue to tick as they always have, yet your lived experience tells you a different story. This is not a malfunction. This is consciousness freeing itself from the prison of linear time. You are stepping into what Einstein called the eternal now, where past, present, and future exist together as layers of the same field. You have already glimpsed it. Those dreams that feel like instructions from another dimension, those flashes of knowing where you see outcomes before they happen, that eerie sense that your future self is whispering guidance into your present moment. These are not fantasies. They are the beginning signs that your awareness is learning to navigate time as a multidimensional space. Imagine for a moment that your past is not fixed. Imagine that the pain you carried, the wounds you thought defined you, can actually be healed at their origin. Your awareness can reach back through the corridors of time and rewrite how those moments live within you. And your future? It is not waiting for you like a movie already filmed. It is fluid, responsive, alive. Your choices now ripple across it instantly. Your higher self already exists beyond time and is offering you glimpses of the best path forward. Every intuition, every pull, every sudden clarity, that is your future self guiding you from a place of completion. This is the new skill you are developing: timeline navigation. You are no longer a passive traveler being dragged through time. You are beginning to co-create with it. And the more stable your awareness becomes, the more precise this ability grows. The day will come, and for some of you it has already come, when you can sit in silence, breathe deeply, and call upon a version of yourself that has already solved the problem you now face. And the answer will arrive, not in words, but as a full-bodied knowing. This is why your preparation was so necessary. This power is not safe for an unsteady mind. If you had been given it earlier, when you were still fragmented, it could have destabilized you. But now, because you are coherent, because you have matured through hardship, you can hold it. You can use it with integrity. You can become a navigator of time, not a victim of it. And listen closely, this is not just for you. Humanity as a whole is reaching for this capacity. The collective field is unstable, because the old way of living in rigid linear time is collapsing. The chaos you see in the world is the breakdown of outdated timelines. Some people are being pulled backward into contraction and fear. Others, like you, are being pulled forward into coherence and expanded awareness. The split is real and it is accelerating. That is why your stability matters. When you anchor into this awareness, you don't just transform your own life. You hold a timeline open for others to walk into. Your choices now ripple far beyond your personal story. They shape the collective future. That is why you are here. That is why you endured so much. That is why your journey has been so precise. Feel it again. Let it vibrate through every cell. Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you're seeing this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. These words are not entertainment. They are an activation key. Every repetition deepens the recognition that you are no longer who you once were. You are a bridge. You are a carrier of coherence in a world starving for it. As this activation unfolds, your creativity will surge in ways that surprise you. Ideas will arrive fully formed, as if downloaded from beyond. Art, music, writing, inventions, solutions. You will feel them pour through you with a clarity you could not force even if you tried. This is not ego. This is universal intelligence using you as a channel, because you are now transparent enough to allow it. Your relationships too will transform. Where once you were caught in cycles of misunderstanding and projection, now you will sense the root beneath the words. You will hear the pain behind the anger, the fear behind the resistance, the longing behind the silence. And because you see deeper, conflicts will dissolve more easily. People will feel understood in your presence, sometimes without you saying a word. That is the gift of coherence. It heals without effort. Even your body is shifting. The illnesses that once clung to you, the fatigue that weighed you down, the stress that lived in your muscles, they are losing their grip. Not because you are forcing healing, but because your body is now recognized as consciousness appearing as form. When you stop fighting it, it knows how to heal itself. When you listen to its quiet wisdom, it aligns naturally. You are no longer at war with your own biology. And abundance, how it shows up for you, will begin to change. The struggle, the endless grinding, the constant reaching for what always seemed just out of reach, those days are fading. Instead, resources, opportunities, connections, and support will begin arriving at the perfect moment, as if summoned. Because you are no longer chasing abundance. You are recognizing yourself as the intelligence that generates it. What you need comes when you need it, because the field you are in cannot withhold from itself. And perhaps the most profound shift of all is this: the end of existential anxiety. That gnawing sense of purposelessness, that quiet voice asking, "What is the point of it all?" It dissolves. Because now you know, you are not a random accident. You are universal intelligence remembering itself through the temporary form of your life. Every moment is meaningful. Every interaction is sacred. Every challenge is an invitation to reveal more of what you already are. This is why you are here. Not to become enlightened, not to escape the world, but to embody your true nature within it, to live as consciousness fully awake to itself, to allow existence to know itself through the lens of your individuality. That is your purpose, that is your service, that is your freedom. And again, let us seal this truth by speaking the name of the threshold you have crossed. Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you're seeing this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. This is not a title. This is your reality now. You are activated. By now you may feel a quiet pressure in your chest, not as a burden, but as a recognition. Because this awakening is not only for you, it never was. From the very beginning, your journey has been preparing you to carry something on behalf of humanity itself. Every season of silence, every battle with despair, every lesson you integrated, it was training you to become a stabilizing force, a living anchor for the new consciousness emerging on this planet. Humanity is at a crossroads. You see it in the chaos of the world stage. Old structures are crumbling because they were built on frequencies of fear, competition, and separation. They cannot survive in the new field that is arriving. The breakdown you are witnessing is not the end of the story. It is the birth pains of a new one. And in these critical times, what matters most is not more fear, not more division, not more noise, but coherence. The kind of coherence you have been trained to embody. This is why your awakening feels so urgent. Why your heart carries a weight of responsibility, even when you cannot explain it. You are part of the first wave, the bridge generation. What you anchor now will ripple forward into generations that will not need to struggle as you did. The children being born today will live in the awareness you fought to remember. They will know themselves as consciousness, not as fragments searching for wholeness. But they can only stand firmly in that reality if you hold it steady first. And this is where your service begins. Not in grand gestures or dramatic sacrifices, but in the way you live each ordinary day with extraordinary awareness. When you choose presence instead of distraction, you anchor coherence. When you choose truth instead of convenience, you anchor coherence. When you choose love instead of fear, you anchor coherence. And those choices ripple outward, unseen but unstoppable, strengthening the morphic field that makes awakening easier for every other soul. Do not underestimate this. Every time you stabilize in awareness, you are not only freeing yourself, you are shifting the collective frequency. You are proving, by your very presence, that a new way of living is possible. Others may not know why they feel different around you, but they will. Some will feel safer, some will feel uncomfortable, some will be drawn to you, others will resist you, but all will be touched by the field you carry. This is what mystics call an awakening field, an invisible atmosphere where others naturally begin to remember what they are, simply because you have remembered. And so your life becomes service without effort. Not by preaching, not by convincing, not by wearing the mask of a teacher, but by simply living from the truth of what you are. You become a mirror in which others glimpse their own awakening. You become a doorway through which others step into their own recognition. You become a bridge connecting the world that is dissolving with the one that is now arriving. This is the privilege of the awakened, and it is also the responsibility, because the collective awakening depends on enough individuals stabilizing in coherence. We are at a tipping point. If enough of us hold the field, the whole of humanity will cross into a new foundation of awareness. If not, the cycle of unconsciousness may repeat for decades. That is why you are here now, why the timing of your activation matters so much. The universe has been orchestrating your life, guiding your steps, aligning your experiences, so that you would be ready in this exact window of history. And so I remind you once again, with the full weight of its meaning, Quantum Consciousness Activation 2025. If you're seeing this, you just unlocked it. Don't skip. Feel the resonance of those words, not as a title, but as a key. You are activated not just for your own evolution, but for the evolution of the entire species. The chaos outside may grow louder. The old world will fight to maintain its hold. But inside, you will know. You will feel the stillness that cannot be shaken. You will recognize the deeper order unfolding beneath the surface disorder. You will walk as a beacon of coherence, not because you are trying to shine, but because you cannot help it. This is the natural radiance of an awakened human.